rubber in the model room welcomes all. Thanks for stopping by, answering the call. Ups and downs are normal for some of us. Many days I beg to get off this life bus. Neon lights flicker, a shadow on the wall. Dreams on the ceiling, we run and then we fall. Sharing stories over paper cups. Wheels keep turning but never enough. Life's a ride on a rickety old track. Holding on tight, never looking back. In the rubber and model room we confide. Loud cry love in this crazy ride.
Well, hello. Welcome into the Rubber Ramada Room. It's Sheila, your lovely host tonight. I found a few things out in the wild tonight. So we figured this is just going to be a wild, off-the-wall stream with just a bunch of little bitty things here and there. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we'll see. So, hey, Katya, how are you? Oh, look, I like how you changed your name, hon. That's cute. I like that. So anyways, we're going to start off with Dog the Bounty Hunter as he is on the search for somebody again. So we're going to listen to him. He's getting a little up there in age, so we all need to laugh a little and just take a step back and relax. So he's getting up there in age, and he has to be prompted through this little video that he did. So bless his little heart, it is Dog the Bounty Hunter. And we'll go into Grant Hardin being missing after that. So here we go.
Hey, Dog, we just got the call. Another murderer has broken out of prison. Tell us about him.
Well, first of all, his name is Grant Matthew Hardin.
A 5-day search has found no signs of the former police chief, who was allowed to walk right out of the Arkansas prison where he was serving 80 years for murder and rape.
His physical description is he is 6'2", 261 pounds. He has blue eyes, and when he escaped from prison, he had no hair, but that doesn't mean he can't grow hair. And he's 57 years old. He escaped from a maximum security.
Okay, bless his heart. He said he is bald, but he's not sure if he can grow hair or not. He might be able to grow hair. In his mugshots, he is bald. So, we'll see what else he has to say.
Arkansas Penitentiary. And how did he get out? Well, he got out by making his own uniform, or someone made a uniform for him of a correction officer. So he walked right out the front gate.
So he also has been nicknamed the Devil of the Ozarks. Tell us what he was charged with.
Well, he is very, very dangerous. And he was charged with murder and rape. And he was the chief of police.
And
so that's why he is the Devil of the Ozarks.
And how many days has he been missing now?
He has been on the run, it looks like, for 5 days or more.
And we were told that the officers were having a hard time with the dogs. Tell us why.
Well, a bloodhound goes by scent. So when it rains, the scent goes away. So the bloodhounds are very useless. I think he's a lot farther away than the bloodhounds can go.
And where do you think he is? Do you think he's still in the area?
I think that, he is still in the area. As far as I know, the other cases that I've seen like this, men that escape from prisons stay in that area, and he's from that area.
So he could have a lot of connections in the area to help him.
Well, he was chief of police, so he could have a lot of connections, and there's a lot of places to hide in the Ozarks.
True, very true. Well, what do you have to say, Dog, to the residents of the area and the people online that are seeing your message?
Well, first of all, to the people in the area, be on the lookout. Okay, there's a lot of campers down there. There's a lot of families that are fishing and camping and hiking. So be very careful. you know, stay very observant. Everybody down there, you know, carries a gun, but I think this guy, Mr. Grant Russell, is going to go after, he's going to go after a gun. So be very careful.
Oh, one last thing.
I'm not on the hunt yet on this one. So let's help out our local law enforcement. If you see something, say something. Give them a call and let's get this guy taken off the streets. He's very dangerous.
Chalk one up for Dog the Bounty Hunter. Okay, so he's on the search. Wait, let me back that up. He's not on the search yet, he says. I'm sorry. I'm just going to kick out a dog, okay? But we're going to watch Coffin do... Look, I have to be nice, okay? This is supposed to be a fun stream, and I'm not going to make fun of people. Sheila. Okay. Okay, so this is the Grant Hardin. He is the one that's missing out of Arkansas. He and this wonderful Jennifer Coffindoffer, I'm going to say her name right, out of respect, okay, is giving an interview to News Nation, being, you know, with the FBI. So she has knowledge. Okay, so this is her. I'm going to shut up and just play this clip.
Agent Jennifer Coffindoffer to talk strategy really around this manhunt. Jennifer, thanks for joining us tonight. We heard Mills there talking about the conditions, how rough the terrain is there. How difficult is that for investigators? Where do they go from here?
Oh, this makes it so difficult. I mean, you're not only talking about foliage and issues with being able to visualize things in that forest, you're also having trouble with plants and animals and other things that make it just so dangerous to actually go look. I've been on these manhunts and it is so difficult and taxing.
And we've talked about, too, that part of the resources that they have out there, they've got bloodhounds on the ground. They are searching for his scent. I was reading an article earlier. It said that there was a bloodhound that picked up Grant Hardin's scent, but then lost it because of the heavy rain. How do you deal with that? What's next when that happens?
Well, it's so difficult. And remember, this is somebody with law enforcement background, and he worked in a kitchen. He knows things like black pepper can be very difficult for a bloodhound to get past and things like that. Also with this.
And whoever said anything about black pepper, where did she get that from? Who said anything about black pepper? And Dog may have a point. Looking at his little picture here, on this one, he doesn't have any hair. On this one, he's got a couple little side pieces there and there, so he is able to grow hair. So let's give it one for Dog.
Torrential rain, I think that really has put law enforcement behind. When you look at, as an example, the Olympic Park bomber, he evaded police for 5 years, and the FBI had untold resources on that. Cavalcante, another one, 2 weeks out. This is the perfect place for someone to get lost.
And the impact, too, I have to imagine, his former career as a police chief is sort of playing into all of this, right? What impact does his past have on his ability to evade law enforcement now?
He really understands the different tools they have. He understands drones. And listen, Brooke, I really believe this was very well planned out. I mean, he might even know where a particular shack or something is there. They really need to keep looking at this from an intelligence standpoint. Who all did he talk to on that phone? Who all did he have intersection with that helped him get out and that might have helped him stash something where he's been able to avoid this long?
Certainly a lot of layers, a lot of challenges for investigators there. I also want to ask you, while I have you, about that jailbreak in New Orleans earlier this month. We're staying on top of that one as well. 2 inmates still on the run there. Where does that search stand?
Well, they have had so much help, and now people, their heads are rolling. We have a sister that's been arrested, a girlfriend that they have a warrant for. I mean, they are using, it is believed, disguises. I recently saw a picture of one. One has the rooks on his face and the queen from chess pieces. You would think he'd be easy to find, but not if he's got a mask that's covering up those identifications.
You talked about the family and
Okay, so with that, we're going to switch. Well, I'm going to finish talking about Grant Hardin. If you pull him up in the Arkansas Department of Corrections inmate search, it shows as of today, he's an inmate still there. It shows Caucasian male, gray hair, blue eyes, 259 pounds. He's supposed to be in Calico Rock, Arkansas, which is the prison unit. It's called North Central Unit. He's supposed to be doing 50 years. Murder in the first degree and the RAPE word. And it says down here that he took anger management classes in 2019. Oh, let's share that tab instead because I'm not showing you anything. Let's scroll back up. All right, so back on this tab. So the Arkansas Department of Corrections inmate search, as of today's date, there's all his information. He's in the Calico Rock, Arkansas, North Central Unit. Murder first degree, RAPE. No detainers. His risk score level, they sent him to minimum security. So this says minimum security right here. So, and that was on December 20th, 2017. He has achieved the programs of anger management in October 2019, and he completed the Serve Safe food handler in January of 2025. So he does know how to handle food. So evidently that's why he was working in the kitchen. So, and that's just his poster again. That's his poster. So after that, then we will travel over here to, we're going to go over to the 10 inmates that escaped, which we're going to just go over it briefly, and then we'll find out about one of them that is still on the loose, and he is teasing the cops at first, and now he's begging for Trump and Lil Wayne and Meek Mills and all these other people to help him out now because he thinks he's being illegally detained. Was it illegally detained? I'm not sure how he worded it, but we'll hear him in his own words. But let's watch this first.
For a group of inmates who escaped from a jail in the heart of New Orleans. ABC's Dave Packer has the latest.
These photos released by New Orleans officials show inside the cell where they say 10 men escaped, prompting an intense search. Authorities announcing some of the escapees have been captured. Photos show a dislodged toilet inside one of the cells and the words "too easy" scribbled above, pointing to a hole where the inmates are believed to have escaped. The sheriff says deputies discovered the men were missing during a routine head count.
And based on video surveillance, they were seen exiting a door on the docks where we normally bring in supplies, scaling a wall, and running across the interstate.
Officials say at least 2 inmates have been captured, including Kendall Miles, who was found less than 3 miles away from the jail hiding beneath a car. Miles is charged with attempted second-degree murder. The other inmates facing charges from murder to aggravated assault. Officials believe someone inside the jail system may have helped the inmates escape.
We have reason to believe that there was some assistance with this. That's why we're thoroughly investigating. We placed 3 individuals on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation.
The U.S. Marshals are assisting with the manhunt.
Hold up. I want to back up and see that lady's glasses.
On administrative leave pending.
Check out them glasses. This woman got it going on. Look at those. Check them out. She says, I am fucking cool with these glasses. I can wear them. I can pull this off. I like them. You go, lady.
Outcome of this investigation.
The U.S. Marshals are assisting with the manhunt, and the FBI announced a $5,000 reward for tips leading to the capture of the escapees. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
Okay, so after that, so most of these, except 2 of the prisoners, have been found. So I'm going to share this, and this is this. I'm going to hit play. I turn the volume off, but I'm going to hit play. This is the fool right here. This is him on Instagram. This was Memorial Weekend. He's over here tossing it up and doing his little gung things and all this. So yeah. So we're gonna.
On Massey before says it's only a matter of time before Massey and Derek Groves are caught again.
As These the last two that they're looking for.
Money now increased. Dozens of bounty hunters may be looking to cash in.
I've dealt with Massey. I've personally arrested Massey.
Bail bondsman and electronic monitor specialist Matt Dennis has apprehended dozens of escaped prisoners and knows firsthand what escaped Orleans Parish inmate Antoine Massey is capable of.
When we dealt with Massey, I warned my team, be careful, he's playing stupid. You could tell that he wasn't stupid. You knew that he was looking for opportunities. So I actually made them use the full gear, the handcuffs, the shackles, and everything after he escaped us.
Dennis recaptured Massey in November of 2023, 2 hours after he cut off an electronic monitor.
When I saw his face on television after he escaped, I went, you got to be kidding me.
Now Massey, who's wanted for a rape and kidnapping in St. Tammany, as well as domestic abuse and theft in Orleans Parish, along with Derek Groves, who's been linked to 4 killings, remain on the loose, and Dennis isn't surprised.
Massey's going to be high up on the food chain when it came to planning this. He didn't follow people out this hole. This is somebody who worked this and made this happen.
This is video just posted on an Instagram account by Massey, which a law enforcement source says they are now looking into. He's proclaiming his innocence. This video notwithstanding, last week authorities raised a reward of $50,000 for Massey's rearrest, and some bounty hunters may be encouraged.
The last I know, there was 900 licensed bail agents in Louisiana.
Matt Dennis says Derek Groves and Antoine Massey are still out because clearly they had a better escape plan with resources.
Whatever they're hiding with, it's got to be funded. When that funding runs out, they're not going to be hiding anymore.
Dennis says one thing more than any other often forces people on the run to resurface.
Believe it or not, in our world, looking for people, when the number one thing that drives a guy back out of hiding is he needs a shower.
And Dennis and others say it's only a matter of time.
They're going to get tired and frustrated as they try to move around Louisiana or move around the metropolitan area. They know the walls are closing in.
Any thoughts on where they might be?
Not far. They're not far.
And Matt Dennis says wider use of facial recognition technology could have possibly resulted in the escapees being recaptured by now. Again, the reward has been increased to $50,000 on both Massey and Groves. If you know anything about their whereabouts, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. Lauren.
And so, as we're going to flip over this was also Memorial Weekend. This fool be out at a swimming pool, partying and putting shit out there on the internet. So, my next story, we're going to switch over to this one. Yep. So he's still out there. So he's teasing the cops. I was trying to find the, oh, here it is. I got it. Let me switch over to this one. Let me share this one instead.
What I want to talk about today,
this is
why I was in Massey. I'm one of the ones that was let out the GC. What I want to talk about.
He just said he was let out of the prison. He didn't say that he escaped. He said he was let out. I'll rewind that just a second.
Was let out the GC. What I want to talk about today is as far as why I was in Orleans Parish Jail. All type of stuff going on and they covering it up. They don't care about nothing. In the state of Louisiana, this is something that needs to go under a federal investigation. what's going on, how they handling cases, why Antoine Massey was in jail if the woman, the victim, the grown woman, not a child, the grown woman stated that he never raped her, he never beat her, he was nowhere in her presence. This is the affidavits on the date right here. This is the drop form from the district attorney office. This woman when did this. I didn't do this. Look, it's legally dignity. So I'm asking please for help. Young boy, Meat Mills, people, LBL, you know what I'm saying? People that been through the system that know it's corrupt.
No, he didn't have on civilian. He's got civilian clothes now because he's hiding out. His auntie's been on social media too, begging for us to just let him be because he needed out to go to his sister's graduation ceremony or something, and he needed to be there, and he's not right in the mind. And yeah, and his auntie's out covering up for him. So I'm sure there's a warrant out for her arrest too, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but this man's lost his office rocker. He's asking for meat meals and
people, LBL, you know what I'm saying? People that been through the system that know it's corrupt. Lil Wayne. Please, I'm asking for help. You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all please to come and help me. You feel?
When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all to please come help me. Okay, that's the best line I've seen yet. Okay, when I get back in custody, y'all come through me like a Chrisley or something and pardon me just because I don't know.
I'm saying? I'm asking the world to let y'all know I'm not a raper, man. I'm not none of that. None of that. I'm a good person. I am a father that want to be in my children's life.
He's a good person. He wants to be in his children's life and all this. But in the meantime, he did escape prison. He did, help pull the toilet off the wall or however they unscrewed whatever, and they got out. So, yeah, it is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? I want to let the younger youth know that going down the route of trying to be a street person is not the route.
He's lost his mind. So we're going to go from that to, we're going to Mary Lou Retton. This woman, bless her heart, I don't know what's going on, but she's in some kind of crisis. Her family's looking for her now. So Mary Lou Retton, I know you'll never see this stream. Maria, will you have a good night? I'm only going to be here about another 15 minutes. We're going to go over some Mary Lou Retton stuff, and then I'm out. I don't have a lot of time tonight. These dogs are just out of control for me. So, but I'm glad you were here. Thank you, love. So we'll go back to Mary Lou Retton. We're just going to get a quick review of who Mary Lou Retton was.
I'm still floating on cloud 9. I believe it's the big man upstairs. Honestly, I'm not ready. I have a lot to look forward to.
2 years after her near-death experience, Olympic icon Mary Lou Retton arrested and charged with DUI.
I have my highs and lows.
ET can confirm the 57-year-old Texas resident was taken into custody in Fairmont, West Virginia, her birthplace, on May 17th. According to court docs, police were notified of a Porsche with Texas plates driving all over the roadway. Officers say when they found Mary Lou, she had a screw-top bottle of wine in her passenger seat. She allegedly smelled like alcohol, was slurring her words, and failed a sobriety test. Today, she's out on $1,500 bond with a court appearance pending. ET has reached out for comment.
It hasn't sunken in yet that I won. I won the Olympics.
We first met the champion gymnast in 1985, the year after she became the first American female to win gold in the Olympic all-around competition.
When I did the vault and I got the 10, a lot of people, what, did you cry? I couldn't cry. You cry when you're sad. I was so happy.
But in recent years, Mary Lou has been under a lot of stress. In 2018, she and her husband of nearly 30 years, Shannon Kelly, split. ET was at the wedding in 1990.
We did it! He's my best friend, so I think we're gonna...
I'm your husband!
Oh, God!
And it was last year this month that ET was invited to her home in Texas as she recovered from a rare, near-deadly form of pneumonia.
My daughter stepped up to the plate and they saved my life. I can't imagine them seeing me on my deathbed. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. They showed me pictures of myself and I didn't even look like me.
You didn't recognize yourself?
No.
Do you consider yourself somewhat of a medical mystery?
Yes, my lungs are pretty scarred up and they're gonna stay that way. So.
Forever?
Forever.
Fans learned about Mary Lou's health battle when her 4 daughters launched a fund to help pay for her month-long stay in the ICU. The retired athlete, who reportedly made millions in the 80s, was uninsured.
My sisters and I are overwhelmed. It's been a really hard time for our family.
I think a lot of people think, cover of the Wheaties box, tons of commercials and endorsements. How is one of our most beloved and treasured American iconic athletes without insurance?
Height of my fame was years ago, and I just, doing enough to make it, doing enough to pay my bills. And then COVID hit and divorce took half of everything. So that was why. Not a really depressed person, but this experience really changed me, and I've been struggling with that. You go through these stages of, why me? And then I got angry, and then I got a grip, and I said, I'm gonna do this. I'm a fighter, and I don't give up.
Nothing's gonna stop me.
So, no regrets?
No regrets at all. Gosh, no. I thank the good Lord above for everything that's happened to me. I wouldn't change anything in the world.
Oh, Mary Lou Retton. So we go on to this, and this is an article that came out today that says U.S. gymnast Mary Lou Retton families issued a worrying update after her arrest. U.S. gymnast legend Mary Lou Retton has sparked fears for her safety after vanishing following her DWI charge in West Virginia last month, the Daily Mail has learned. Concerned family members in the small town of Fairmont revealed they have not seen or heard from Olympic gold medalist 57, who is based in Texas, since her arrest in her hometown on May 17th. The lack of communication is nothing new for the former athlete, according to relatives, who say Retton hadn't even informed her family that she was in town before her embarrassing encounter with police. Last week, the Daily Mail exclusively revealed that Retton was caught slurring her words with a screw-top bottle of wine in the passenger seat while she was behind the wheel of her Porsche. She had pulled over at an AutoZone in Fairmont after being seen driving all over the roadway. Officers noted the odor of alcohol emitting from her while she was in the driver's seat of the car while it was still running, according to the court records. She failed all 3 phases of the standard field sobriety test and was charged in Marion County for driving under the influence of alcohol, controlled substance, or drugs. An inside source said in the wake of her arrest, her family had no idea she was here at all. They found out about the arrest when everyone else did. So then I went over to Twitter, and it was really sad because, Right, Katya. It was really sad because I got to thinking, and Mary Lou Retton, when I was a child, back when I wasn't a child in the 80s, I was a teen, but Mary Lou Retton was awesome. She was like that Olympic person that I could remember going in the front yard and doing cartwheels and thinking, I'm going to be like Mary Lou Retton because I can do cartwheels. I wouldn't dare try to do a cartwheel these days. A little bit old for that. But, you still have those favorite little iconic memories of people. And, so I got to reading some of them. And, here's what it says. If you weren't alive in 1984, there's no way to describe how big of a thing Mary Lou Retton was. Imagine Taylor Swift, but for the Olympics. And I thought that was a good way to put it. That was a very, it put it in very simple layman terms for me. Somebody said Mary Lou Retton pulled over for a DUI driving a Porsche. Didn't I send money to a GoFundMe for her bills? I'm feeling duped. Now, I can understand that comment because this gentleman, obviously when she was sick right after the big vid hit, she had also gone through a divorce and she was in the hospital and she didn't have money because she didn't have health insurance, and her children were putting together some type of crowdsourcing funding for her hospital bills. And, I understand the guy's feeling, he's probably got a little emotion there with the fact that she's driving a Porsche. And yes, I said Taylor Swift. But that's, to y'all these days, Taylor Swift is like how Mary Lou Retton was for the Olympics for us in the 80s. That was just, it was so idolizing, and it's so different. And then somebody had to put this, did they make Mary Lou Retton do the roadside Olympic and put out this video, which, hey, we have a point. We got to make comedy out of some of this. Somebody said the new Mary Lou Retton memoir is called Singles, Straddles, and Double Scotches. But that's the end of that. And one other thing, I don't know if anybody recognizes this man. This man, his real name is Jonathan Joss, or Yoss. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He was the character actor that played John Redcorn in King of the Hill. He passed away today. He was murdered in the state of Texas. Being that this is Pride Month, I really wanted to bring this to the attention. I was very bothered by this after I read this post. I knew that he had a partner. So, and this is a statement from his partner today. It's a statement from Tristan Kern de Gonzalez, husband of Jonathan Joss. My husband, Jonathan Joss, and I were involved in a shooting while checking the mail at the site of our former home. That home was burned down after over 2 years of threats from people in the area who repeatedly told us they would set it on fire. We reported these threats to law enforcement multiple times and nothing was done. Throughout that time, we were harassed regularly by individuals who made it clear they did not accept our relationship. Much of the harassment was openly homophobic. When we returned to the site to check our mail, we discovered the skull of one of our dogs and its harnesses placed in clear view. This caused both of us severe emotional distress. We began yelling and crying in response to the pain of what we saw. While we were doing this, a man approached us and he started yelling violent homophobic slurs. Why can I not get this thing to scroll? Damn it. Work with me here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having trouble with my little Zoom button here. While we were doing this, a man approached us. He started yelling violent homophobic slurs at us. He then raised a gun from his lap and fired. Jonathan and I have had no weapons. We were not threatening anyone. We were greeting. We were standing side by side. When the man fired, Jonathan pushed me out of the way. He saved my life. Jonathan is my husband. He gave me more love in our time together than most people ever get. We were newlyweds. We picked Valentine's Day. We were in the process of looking for a trailer and planning our future. He was murdered by someone who could not stand the sight of two men loving each other. I was with him when he passed. I told him how much he was loved. To everyone who supported him, his fans, his friends, know that he valued you deeply. He saw you as family. My focus now is on protecting Jonathan's legacy and honoring the life we built together. If your concern is how someone coped with trauma or how loudly they speak when recounting injustice and being ignored by authorities, then you never truly cared about my husband. Jonathan saved my life, and I will carry that forward. I will protect what we built. Tristan Kern de Gonzalez. So, rest in peace, John Redcorn and Jonathan Joss. And I believe he played in Tulsa King also. Yeah, if you pull up his IMDb, you will see he did a lot more. He was a great actor. He did a lot of voice acting. And I remember King of the Hill. That was just something from my younger days that I did enjoy. So, and with that, we are going to switch over to this. We're going to watch the Lori hearing, which we can't really see much because of the way they set up the cameras today and everything, but we are going to listen to it. It's only 13 minutes long. And then after that, I'm going to close.
1242, appearances, please.
Trina Kay, on behalf of the state and for the record, the victim is in the victim room.
All right. Ms. Daybell?
No, in the courtroom, sorry. Lori Daybell.
All right, this is the time set for continuing jury selection, State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell. CR 2022-001242, appearances, please.
Trina Kay, on behalf of the state and for the record, the victim is in the victim room.
All right. Ms. Daybell?
No, in the courtroom, sorry.
Lori Daybell for the defense.
All right, are we ready to proceed with jury selection?
Oh, she sounds pathetic.
Why not?
I'm sick, Your Honor. I've been sick all weekend. I let my team know yesterday I was sick.
Can you please pull the microphone a little closer? I can't hear you very well.
I'm sick. I've been sick.
Have you put in tank orders to get treatment?
Yes.
Are you being housed in the infirmary?
Nope. I'm housed where they put people in quarantine anyway. I'm housed alone. They would not move me from where I am.
Have they tested you for any communicable diseases?
No.
All right.
You asked me to let my team know. I let them know yesterday at 9 a.m. that I was still
Well,
very ill.
sometimes we're in positions where we have to proceed when we feel under the weather.
It's not just under the weather. I'm very ill.
Do you have copies of tank orders you put in for treatment?
Not with me. I put it in on the tablet.
Was the DO able to check whether any tank orders were put in?
I can pull them there, Judge, but I don't know when she put it in.
What's that?
I think it takes about 24 hours.
They haven't even answered my tank order yet. It takes them a long time.
I'm assuming that a tank order is like a sick note saying I'm sick.
So what symptoms are you having?
I have a terrible headache. I have nausea. I have chills. I have a fever, probably. I haven't been able to keep.
Get a thermometer in there. Get a thermometer. I don't know. I don't know if she got a fever or not. Get a thermometer. Judge Boreski sounds so sick, but he's like, ugh. It sounds like he's just breathing heavy. Like, get her the hell out of here.
Would you be willing to have one of your advisory councils complete the 40-year process, jury selection?
Would that waive my ability to represent myself for the rest of the trial?
No.
Then can I have a moment to discuss with them for a second?
A couple things. I'm your trial judge. My instructions are to complete your second trial. So even if for some reason your sickness worsened and we weren't able to complete this trial and had to declare a mistrial as this trial, even if this case got delayed into June or July or August to be reset, I'd still be your trial judge.
I think he's saying, in other words, yeah, if you think you can like get sick and then find a new judge because they have to have another trial somewhere else, or later down the line. Too bad. I'm still your judge.
Additionally, last time we did jury selection on your first trial, as I recall, you asked between probably about 5 and 10 minutes of follow-up questions of the panel before we sat the jury. I only mention that in the context of not a lot of it is expected of you at this point in the trial. Depending on how you're feeling later, we could talk about whether the opening statements would have to be further bumped to tomorrow. But I would like to keep this trial on track. So if you want a few minutes to talk to your advisory council, we can do that. Is there anything the state wants to put on the record before we do that?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Do you want to do that back in the tank? All right, be at recess for a few minutes.
All right.
Please be seated. All right, we're back on the record. State of Arizona versus Daybell, CR 2022-001242. The state is present. The defendant is present. Ms. Daybell.
I did discuss with my advisory council. They are not comfortable doing that. I do have a right to represent myself. I'm sorry that I'm sick. I did not plan on getting sick. I did not try to get sick. This isn't anything to do with anything other than the fact that I'm incapable of going forward and doing a good job representing myself. I've been incarcerated for over 5.5 years. I've only ever been sick one other time in the whole time I've been here.
All right. State want to be heard?
Judge, obviously, if the defendant is sick and she does have a right to represent herself, we understand that. The concern is the state does need a date certain when we're starting. I have witnesses that I rescheduled already once to fly in this week, assuming we were starting today. I obviously will need to reschedule them again. I can't keep rescheduling them every single day onto a new flight. So I am not sure how we want to proceed at this time. If we want to give the defendant a couple days, see if this jury is available to extend out to the 25th. I know we had originally talked about that and begin on Wednesday. I don't know if she will feel better by then, but that's the only suggestion I have at this time other than starting all over again at another date.
Is there a reason I couldn't proceed with some of the oral voir dire this morning? Because other than introducing herself, she wouldn't be expected to do anything this morning, and that way we can at least get rid of some of the jurors that, for whatever reason, would need to be excused.
Judge, my concern is she's in a wheelchair now.
Well, I would probably ask to have her sit in a regular seat and not be in a wheelchair that says MCSO across the back of it.
Your Honor, I am just not capable of going or even sitting here. I need to be laying down. I need to be getting better so that I can go forward and actually represent myself. I hope that I feel better this week and we can go forward. I can't give you any promises. I can't control any of this.
Whine about it some more, Lori. Just whine some more. It's okay. I got some cheese coming. It's in your commissary. All I hear is pins tapping, mouth smacking, paper flipping. Oh my God.
All right, I'll take the state's suggestion and try to salvage this jury in this trial.
Judge Bresky's pissed. He's so done.
I'm sure these jurors are going to be none too happy coming down today again for a dry run.
Judge, I do have one other. I don't know if we're able to, and I understand this is Judge Kemp's courtroom. If we can start earlier for the rest of the week and next week at 10, maybe take an hour for lunch. It's just ways to try to.
Yeah, I would be willing to do that. So for Friday, I have nothing else, and Judge Kemp has nothing. We could start at 9 on Friday.
And I know we have at least one juror that we will have to excuse who was going camping on Friday.
Yeah, juror number 4, I think.
Yeah.
My schedule, we could start at 10 on Wednesday. Let me check Judge Kemp's courtroom schedule.
Lori, you got a day to lay in bed and suck it up. You better get better. We don't have no more time for your drama crap. Just suck it up, girl. Suck it up.
I think he looks like he'll be done by 9:30 at the latest. So I think we'd be safe on telling the jurors to come back 10 a.m. Wednesday, get the jury picked, opening statements done. All right, I think I do need to bring the jurors in to tell them something. So can we have Ms. Daybell sit in a regular chair and not and bring the wheelchair out into the hallway?
Yeah. I don't think that I can even sit here. I need to go.
Oh my God, Lori. Girl.
Last time you said it was going to be 15 minutes, it was an hour and a half where I was sitting here trying not to throw up on TV in front of the jurors.
Which maybe we could, all of us leave and they could come in and just speak with you.
That's fine.
I've had that happen before where none of the parties are here and the court just advises that we're unable to proceed today.
I don't know about you rescheduling this for Wednesday. It puts a lot of pressure on me to be better and ready for Wednesday. And if I'm not, I don't like to disappoint people. I don't like putting people out of their way. All the jurors and all these things and all the pressures on me.
Whoa. I gotta rewind that just a second because I think I heard her say I don't like to disappoint people.
It's a lot of pressure on me to be better and ready for Wednesday. And if I'm not, I don't like to disappoint people. I don't like putting people out of their way, all the jurors and all these things and all the pressure is on me. That's not going to help me get any better anytime soon.
What is your suggestion?
I don't know, but I'm saying so tomorrow, if I'm not better and I let my team know, are you going to drag me in here like you did today with the team that came to get me? Do you know they felt so sorry for me to have to get dragged out of bed to be here?
Yeah, the answer is yes. I probably will order that you be here Wednesday. We'll take tomorrow off.
I'm fucking just unplugged my headphones.
Because I need to confirm how you're feeling. You because you represent yourself, no one else can waive your own appearance.
You're welcome to come over to the jail and come to my cell and see how I'm doing in there.
All right, I'll take a pass on that. All right, with the consent of the parties, then we'll have the parties exit. I'm going to tell the jury
I'll take a pass on that. Oh my God.
Going to try to get this done on Wednesday. Obviously, that depends on whether the defendant's feeling better or not.
You sound so exhausted, exasperated.
I'll tell them to be here ready to go at 10 a.m. Wednesday unless they hear something else. So I'll go ahead and ask the parties to exit. We'll keep the FTR running for the...
All right, that was the end of that stream. So I do have one more thing. And it's just something funny and crazy. And it's a piece of Texas history. As I was rolling through things, looking for crazy things tonight, an axe-wielding prohibitionist died. It was on today's date, 114 years ago in 1911. And this is her beautiful picture. So she used to wield axes. The story says, on this day in 1911, her name was Carrie Nation. I love her name, Carrie Nation, Carry. Perhaps the most famous prohibitionist in American history, died in Kansas. Born in Kentucky in 1846, she lived in Texas for several years as a child in the 1860s and again as an adult from 1879 to 1889. While in Texas, Nation had numerous mystic experiences. She came to believe that she had been elected by God and that she spoke through divine inspiration. After her husband, a sometimes reporter for the Houston Post, ran afoul of the feuding sides of the Jaybirds-Woodpecker War, they relocated, which is a war that happened in Fort Bend County. It was a stupid political war. Nothing important. Well, it's important to my Texas history, but not to the story. They relocated to Kansas. In 1892, she helped organize a local chapter of the Women's Christian Temperance Union and was appointed jail evangelist. In the name of home protection, she began a crusade against alcohol and tobacco that lasted the rest of her life. Claiming the justification that saloons were legal in Prohibition, Kansas, she wrecked joints and berated persons who sold liquor. In the 1900s, she adopted the hatchet as her tool of destruction. And the sale of souvenir hatchets and the earnings from the nationwide lecture tours allowed her to pay the fines that resulted from more than 30 arrests. Although she was a national leader of the extreme element of prohibition movement, she never had the unqualified support of the WCTU or any other national organization. In the final years of her life, she was increasingly afflicted with mental illness and died in Leavenworth Hospital. So that's the lovely story of Carrie Justice. Just a simple something I found interesting. So she sold axes to pay her way out of jail for tearing up all the little bars and stuff during Prohibition, which was quite interesting. I mean, hey, if you got a passion for it, you got a passion for it. So anyways, y'all have a great night. I am done in the Rubber Ramada room, and I got to go let these boys out their kennels. Well, boy and girl, let them out their kennel and go do the potty thing. It's been nice and quiet for an hour in my house, so I'll take the peace while I can. So, Rubber out. Y'all have a great night.
Life's a